was
So
dead,
not in a live rock.
No, not in a
dead
live rock.
one.
A dead one. That's exactly what I mean.
You need that clear distinction, actually. I'm glad you added that special touch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm
God.
my best friend account name was Faded White. So, you know, we mixed it up. We kept it random and dark black, you know.
I like it. Rain, of course, is our Protoss player going into this first matchup up against Rogue. The Zerg pictured here to the right side is 18 and 25. Has been getting a lot stronger since the days we had him last season of Pro League.
Yep, definitely. And they didn't do the predictions here, but me and Wolf both went with Rogue. But Moonblade, what do you think going into this match? Rain or Rogue?
I'm going to think Rain.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'd rather go for Rogue, but, you know, Rain is Protoss. And, you know, this map is pretty good for getting an easy third with Protoss. You know, it's a very good defensive positioning. And that can lead on to like a very late game where Protoss is pretty strong, or it can lead on to like 3-base timings. But we'll have to see how Rain plays it. Rain is very, very smart.
He certainly is, Moonglade. It's time for a Protoss versus Zerg, JINAIR versus SKT. And a very different intro video here at the 2014 SPL.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Down here in the bottom right, in the orange for SK Telecom, it is Rain.
And to the top left in the green, JINAIR Green Wings, it's Rogue.
And you know, we just did the GOM global tournament, and they had the name said actually during the introduction. So I almost did not say Rain's name, but
that would have been really
remembering
awkward, Brendan.
That
That
would
would
be
have been
last
so
second.
weird.
I would have been like, it's Rain.
Remember the part, Brendan? Remember the part today where you almost didn't say his name?
I remember.
That was so a close call, dude.
Yeah, man, you could have been in trouble there. I could have actually had your job.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, you gotta watch out, Moonglade, man, with his extensive
thirsty,
knowledge.
Man. I'm thirsty, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for that role.
Thirsty for knowledge.
He's thirsty. I'm not thirsty. I got a coffee in front of me. It's quite nice.
Oh, you're lucky.
You had a latte earlier, didn't you?
It was terrible.
Oh, yeah, you got one of those cup ones. So.
I got tricked, man. Usually green tea lattes are delicious, but ones in cups.
You got that with Kadam, right?
Yeah, man.
Oh God.
He's a traitor. That guy just wants to make my life
He probably
miserable.
did it on purpose, just to like have you experience that terribleness.
Yeah, thanks, Kadam, wherever you are.
I'm sure he's not watching this. He's drinking another cafe latte in one of those cups.
He's laughing at me.
Well, I mean, just let's talk a little about this game for a moment, briefly here. As you see, the Nexus is going to be delayed here by a drone. It's a hatch first. You think that Rogue, upon seeing this, will actually go for a double hatch before pool?
I think very, very likely. I mean, this is the kind of scout that you want to scout for either a forge or a gateway. So you know if you can expand first, or you have to kind of get that spawning pool at 15 and play a little bit safer and avoid cannon rushing. But obviously, scouted it, knew it was going to be a Nexus first, so he goes straight into the hatchery first, and hatchery second, and a very late pool. Yeah. Very, very greedy build, but he did it the safe way, so no risk.
Yeah. We don't really see that very often, actually. This is something we don't really see a lot at Pro League, but Rogue showing it to us today.
Yeah, playing a very safe, smart game. I think it's a good idea, especially against Rain. Rain is... He's a very technical player, I feel. He's got some great timings, and he's a very safe player and a very smart player. So, like, to play against him is probably better to play standard and safe and kind of take it to that part of the game where you're more comfortable.
Yeah. Rain seems to be the type of player who has a solid opening and is more late game focused. Or, if he's untouched, he might hit a timing like you were saying. And this is the kind of play style that I think is very predictable, but it's still probably arguably the most solid playstyle if you're good enough to pull it off.
Yeah, and Rain is a player that is good enough to pull it off. He showed it to us time and time again. He's taken it like super late against Zergs. I think we had a crazy game between him and someone else on Outboxer. I'm not exactly sure who the Zerg was, but it went like really late, and there was a ton of backdooring and stuff. It was really intense, and I hope we see something similar today. Rain producing a lot of fun games.
I wouldn't be surprised on this map especially. This map seems to go mid to late game pretty easily because of the positioning of everything. Yeah. Like third bases are so easily taken, and And yeah, it can be split in half rather easily, and a lot of backdooring, especially with those rocks to the natural. And yeah, it can get very messy, and it can go into swarm hosts if we're lucky.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, this map, we see a lot of Protoss versus Zerg timing attacks. Usually, not really a fake third base, but the Nexus that comes up that's not really mined from more than either, if there are any probes at all, 1 or 2 probes, the gateway wall there, +2 and Blink Stalkers. Do you feel like this map, in particular for Protoss, the longer the game goes, ends up being a tougher one? Is that why we often see that, or do you think it's just more so that the map is stronger for those types of timings because of the backdoor, that you can do it in the natural?
It's definitely stronger for those kinds of timings, and yeah, I mean, it's always a pain to go that late game against swarm hosts if no damage has been done early. I mean, like, it just gets to that stage, and it's very, very tedious for the Protoss, especially.
Yeah, we've seen like really late games on this map where, a ton of PvZs as well, where, the Zerg is able to get that 5th base in the middle and just control it so well with those swarm hosts and a ton of static defense. And Protosses usually have a really hard time with that. Even if they go that huge death ball, it's just so hard to control the 5th base there in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. And but Rain is one of probably the best players, played the late game, especially against swarm hosts and everything like that. I mean, he's just so well equipped and so smart about late game. So even if it gets to the swarm host stage, I mean, he's not out of it. He's probably very prepared for it, especially on this map.
yeah, I have to agree. Actually, Rain is one of these players that I would, if I had to put him out on this map against a Zerg, if I had to choose a Protoss for my team to put out against a Zerg on this map, it would be Rain probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I concur, the two of you. Now, it seems to be that with this Forge coming down here and all these sentries, we're going to see him take a quick third base here, like you said. Moonglade, it's a pretty easy map for the Protoss to take that. It's tough for the Zerg to punish because the rush distance is pretty far down to that third base location. Plus, you're kind of going into this little choke point type area, and it's not really a comfortable place to be when you're trying to retreat either. If you start to realize, like, I'm not going to do as much damage as I'd like to, or, you think, well, this has just gone horribly wrong. I need to save as many units as I can. It's tough to get out of there because these little choke points that you can see here where the sentries are. And oftentimes you get your units caught into 2 groups on that little, crater, the hole in the map right there that you see.
The little fissure creates a whole lot of problems for any kind of attack on the third base.
A whole lot of problems.
You went there, man. Well played. And
Whoa!
We're finally seeing a pylon out in the map. He played Rain played very defensive until this point. Playing it very slowly, getting that third base up safely, dropping 3 more gateways at the third base. And
Yeah, I don't want to cut you off here, but you know what? I think what we were talking about, what Wolf was talking about, actually, taking this third base and not really mining from it, making a ton of sentries, building up the energy, and I think he's going to go for a very aggressive attack here.
Yeah, much faster than the +2 with Blink. This time it's just very fast +1. And he's got a ton of pylons going up here. It's going to be basically impossible to deny these. This is placed in such a weird way, but it's right out of vision. Okay, now he sees it.
Yeah.
But this is 9 sentries warping across the map here. He's got the mothership core. And with good force fields here, these roaches are going to really struggle to fight this.
And yeah, Rogue just waited too long to make any units, but he could get a good position here, a good surround.
Gets a decent surround here, even fighting with the drones now, but really, really good force fields is going to keep this army of Rain really safe right now, and he has another warp in coming in right now. Rogue, it looks like he's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, it looks like he might just roll over and die. I mean, there's just too much Protoss here. The force fields are great. He uses the hatchery as well as a blocker, so the units can't actually get through that location, so he kills it at the last second because he only killed it earlier. Just wants to take that fight using the hatchery against his opponent. As soon as the Zerg army comes back in, he drops the force fields, kills another queen here, and there's no way he's going to hold now, losing that production. Roach speed wasn't done before the attack, and neither was Burrow, so there you have it. Another time warp goes down here. Not the most critical one, but it's good enough with these force fields to finish him off.
Yeah, this is just, it looked like Rogue was not expecting this at all. This is just a very well-timed, well-played game out of Rain here.
Yeah, Rogue just played simply too greedy. He was expecting Rain to go to the late game, and he just went for a very fast gateway timing with +1, and from this point on, it's just kind of a formality of when it's going to end.
Yeah, absolutely. GG.
But
that's one of the scary things about a player like Rain, because he's a type of player who normally doesn't do specific timing attacks too often, but when he does, it's the last thing you expect, especially on a map like this where Protoss players will try to take that third base super greedy, take it early, and then macro up. But in this case, he took it super fast and added a ton of gateways, and I guess really threw his opponent off there.
Yeah, I was more expecting Rain to go late game here, and I thought he would be in trouble. That's why I voted for Rogue, but Rain switching it up. He's showing his you know, his malleability here. He's able to change up his play very well. Very nice build.
That's one to me, guys.
All right.
Just saying.
Moonglade.
Just saying, guys.
Moonglade versus Wolf and Brendan 1-0.
Yeah, actually, like in our first break, maybe we can have you send your predictions actually over to the production team so they'll come up on screen as well. That would be pleasant.
That'd be fun.
That would be cool.
I would love that, guys.
I would quite enjoy, in fact, seeing your name up there with what you think.
Oh, I'd love to see my name up in
It was
the lights,
awesome.
man.
Let's see how long Moonglade goes without making a mistake.
I'm gonna